Alright guys, we're back for yet another Bleach Brave Souls video, and it is now time to start updating the monthly tier list. Now this is the first video that I have done on the channel. Last month we just did a stream to assemble the list and get everything ready to go because this is going to be a monthly occurrence moving forward. So we have 5 different attributes, and the way of how they're all categorized is for every single game mode. From PVE, Guild Quest, PvP, Limit Breaker. You guys get the point, and we basically rank the characters in terms of how good they are, their usability. There's just a lot to really go on about. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and start updating the list now, and this is what the speed attribute is looking like, just to recap. I might be missing some characters that are old, but I did already add in most of the relevant characters. This is for heart, as you guys can see right here, and then technique is how I have assembled it, and then we have mind and power. Now, I might need to fix power up a little bit when it comes to the attributes. It is a bit mixed, but we'll get on that as we update the list. So we may as well first update the new entries for when it comes to the speed attribute, which in my opinion is by far one of the most stacked attributes. It has way too many good characters. And the first character we need to add to the list is going to be none other than Apache. Now, this character is a Guild Quest bot with the boosting skill and completely replaces Masaki for when it comes to using her in the ranged no affiliation Guild Quest. What else can I say? She does everything that you would expect out of a Guild Quest character. She has Flurry +1, Flurry +2 in Guild Quest. She has high damage multipliers of a bruiser of 85% in total, and then offers character normal attack damage of 20% for speed characters. And then also she has Lacerate Plus with the increased element chance against no affiliation enemies, meaning that her with Tosher will be able to work very nicely, as she would be able to stack the status element on top of the freeze, or if Apache procs first, you can still apply Tosher's freeze and still get all of the damage out in that particular guild quest. So yeah, nothing really much to go on about. She also does have long reach, and her NAD string is mainly a range collision one that we're normally accustomed to. Strong attack kit doesn't really matter too much. She is just there to be able to boost and help out in the guild quest rotation. So when it comes to ranking her for the speed attribute, I'm definitely gonna put her in the A tier, right next to Candace, as it works out the most. Now, outside of Guild Quest, I'm gonna be honest, she's just your typical Flurry +1 character, and doesn't really do that crazy when it comes to other game mode. Like, you're not using her in PvP, you're not gonna be using her as much, maybe as an auto really, when you have other characters that are just gonna be more suited, like Askin and this Neliel right here. So that's pretty much all that we need to take into consideration. And then up next, we gotta talk about Full Hollow Ichigo. Now, we're taking a look at the 6-star skills sheet instead of the BBS simulator, as it has yet to get added. But essentially, this guy is also yet another Guild Quest main lead, similar to Asnot, Bankai Senjumaru, where he wants to be used in the ranged Squad Zero Guild Quest, and pretty much replaces Shinji in what he does, and just does a better job. That being said, he does have a really great kit with the 3k length beam, 960 AoE in front, and then a full screen 1200 radius SA3, and has an EX move, which is another beam, which also works, has a really high chance to proc status elements even without the increased ailment chance, which if you want to use him outside of Guild Quest, that EX move will actually help you out for when it comes to getting the SP boost as fast. He can debuff on the Soul Bomb, and I think it has the same debuff rate as Asnot. And besides that, the only complaint I have to give about this character is that he lacks Berserker, realistically speaking, because if you look at everything else, great skill set, it's just Berserker is the only thing that is missing here, and Diminisher just completely takes the spot, and it's so pointless because you're only debuffing on the Soul Bomb. You do not have a strong attack that can help you debuff the enemies, nor an EX move, so like the whole skill is just completely wasted. But everything else, I don't mind it too much. It's just that he needs a little bit more base damage. Like, you cannot just be doing damage to element-affected enemies. But this guy's performance in Guild Quest was absolutely amazing. He did get 50 seconds at 1.5, and if you have him at 2.5, you can get around 52, 53, or even 54 seconds with this character. And outside of Guild Quest, I mean, he's just gonna perform like any other character, but at least he has a good kit to make use out of, and he'll still be a fun character regardless of all thing. The only thing that he will pretty much suck in would have to be Limit Breaker Quest, but let's be honest, he has Squad Zero killer, not a PvE killer, so it's like, you're not even gonna be using this character anyway. So, in terms of ranking this character, I'm going to put him in SS tier, right next to Asnot, maybe even above him. The only reason why I'm keeping Asnot above this VL Ichigo is because of the fact that he has a little bit more base damage multipliers, and he's able to score just about the same as VL, but work better outside of Guild Quest still. He is going to be the better character to use in epic raids and PvE content, realistically speaking, so that's kind of the reason why, but I may bump VL up higher than Asnot in the future for the time being. Anywho, I don't think I need to change anything else. I might eventually bump down Uetsu, depending on how his performance is going to be in the new extra waves, because let's say in the event he has typing disadvantage. Of course, at 1.5, he is going to have some problems, but at 2.5, we'll have to wait and see for that. So for now, I'm going to keep him in SSS, and then once I get to use him in the Melee No Affiliation Guild Quest, then I'll change my opinion and probably pump him down to SS. But for now, he's just going to stay there, and there's nothing really else to... Oh wait, we do have one more character to update, and that is this Can't Fear Your Own World Kisuke. This guy got a resurrection, and happened to pretty much get a very good one, because his soul trait, he now picked up full stamina damage boost of 16%, which, by the way, it's still a very good link. I actually needed to use this on full holo to get my SA3 back fast enough, and I still did a good amount of damage. It was either this Kisuke being used as a link, or 5th Anniversary Byakuya. And even outside of the whole link status, he can also function as a support character for when it comes to using him in Guild Quest, and just for being able to buff up any Soul Reapers in general. He picked up Havoc of 20% with Guard Break, but that being said, his skill set, Berserker still stayed the change. His Bruiser randomly got updated from 40 to 50%. He picked up Weakened Defense. I mean, you're not really going to use this character in Guild Quest. And he picked up a Status Element Immunity. It was either one of these two right here, but like, you're not going to be using this character as a main in Guild Quest, realistically speaking. You're going to be using him as a support because this is what he has right here. Team Party, Soul Reaper, strong attack damage of 20%. With this skill right here, it will work nicely in Guild Quest rotations in which you do not have, per se, the Heart Zangetsu. The only difference is, he's going to work on any given rotation regardless of the attribute, because let's say you're buffing True Shikai Ichigo or Full Bring Ichigo. Kisuke will still be able to do that just fine, and if you're bringing Tenjiro alongside Kisuke, yeah, it's a fat W. And besides that, he also picked up this right here, which is more strong attack damage at 30% when at full stam. So like, damage-wise, he did get a good increase, and even his ranged got improved nicely, because he now has a 3k length beam, 960, and when you charge the SA3, it is a full screen all around him. Just barely above, it's 1080, so you guys get the point. Now, while he did get a really good resurrection, regardless of all things, I don't really consider it to be as good as Byakuya with what he got and everything else, so at the bare minimum, he should go from mid-B to the top of B, alongside Baz B, and honestly, probably above Milaros. Like, this kid is actually kind of better, really, huh? Yeah. Let's just put him below Basby at this point. I think it's better suiting that way, so I think it makes sense. Okay, guys, it's time to move on to the Heart attribute. That being said, on this list, we only have one new character to add onto here, and no other character has gotten resurrected this month, and it's going to be Segunda Etapa Ulquiorra. Now, this character, I'm not gonna lie, there was a good reason as to why this video came out late, and it's because I wanted to try this guy out in Guild Quest before I can give my final judgment on this character. And surprisingly to say, this character actually surprised me when it comes to his performance in Guild Quest. Now, I still don't think that he is as good as Bastolorde Ichigo because he has a much better kit to work with and just works better as a standalone character, whereas this Ulquiorra, he was given a ranged collision SA1, a new one at that though. It's a 50% mag kind of attack and actually does do very good damage against the bosses in Guild Quest, to the point that you can sometimes even one-shot them against the ones that don't have poise, and the ones with poise, you still do good enough damage to sometimes even weaken them, and then finishing them off with the SA3. I was able to get 50 seconds with this character, and he actually did pretty well. If you can get really good RNG, you can actually get 50 seconds with him, even at 1.5, and I've seen it. And fun enough, I actually did do some runs yesterday with him being at 2.5 after I was done with recording. I came close to 51, by the way. If 51 is achievable, then this guy is definitely going to get a pass. He's definitely a lot better than Misaki. It's just that I hated that this guy got a boosting SA2, did not get an EX move, and you cannot inflict status elements with that SA2. It's the one thing that holds this character back a lot, despite being given good skills. And fun enough, he has way more consistent damage than Bastolorde because he has Berserker built into the soul trait, which is very good. And he also gets his SA1 and SA3 back pretty damn fast via these skills right here. And then the skill set is pretty much the same as VL, only difference is that he does not have Poise Break, realistically speaking. But thankfully, he only really ever needs it in the extra wave, but like, let's say you bring Parasol Momo or Cacao Society Ulquiorra to take down the boss. With Ulquiorra taking care of things, you should still be able to clear the guild quest just fine. Easily a lot better than Misaki. Way better than I thought. So, at the bare minimum, I think that this character can easily go to the top of S. In SS, unfortunately, I still feel like his kit kind of holds him back a little bit. And just to give you guys an idea, I also do have 1000 Year Blower Rukia ranked at the top of S regardless of all things. So, and funny enough, Rukia is just about the same as Ulquiorra, where they both have an SA2 that does not inflict status elements and they lack an EX move. So I feel like this is a good positioning for the character overall. And that's pretty much it, realistically speaking. Like, I don't think we need to change anything else on the list. And yeah, I think we can just go ahead and move on to the next attribute. Up next is going to be the Technique attribute, and just like the Hort attribute, we only have one new character to add, and no other character has gotten resurrected, and that is Sun Sun. This character is pretty much another guild quest lead, just like Bastolorde, and I do deem her to be as good as Bastolorde overall with what this character can do. The only difference is that she is made for the melee holo guild quest. She doesn't have Berserker, but her skill set actually makes her war so goddamn nice that at 1.5, I was actually able to get 51 seconds with her. Granted, I had a 5.5 Kensei, but I've already seen people get more or less the same score as me, even with a 2.5 Shinji. So this character is pretty... And the crazy thing about this unit too, is that SA1 was bogged on release, and nobody noticed it. So essentially, she may even be able to get more scores later on by the time Melee Holo Guild Quest does make a comeback, which is crazy to even think about, because I thought that this character was fine on release. That being said, performance-wise, outside of Guild Quest is pretty much going to be the same as Bastolorde. Like, there isn't really much to take into consideration. She has Frenzy plus 2, Frenzy 3 in Guild Quest, increased element chance against Holos, and then does more damage once you proc against the enemies, and has damage to paralyzed enemies of plus 40%, the extra killer effect, extra melee damage, poison immunity, 80% SP boost and weaken defense, and also has Havoc, Marauder, and Spurn plus 1 into her innate abilities. And the kid is also very good. She has a 750 lunge, which is the same as 1000 Year Blower Rukia, 9th Anniversary Kenpachi, and who else was it that had the SA1? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, the Mind 1000 Year Blower Ishin as well. So, like, it's a good strong attack, and it works perfectly for Guild Quest. SA2 is going to be the 960 in front, and then the SA3 is a 1200 radius SA3. So yeah, and she also has an EX move, which is like a 900 radius all around her. It's just basically there for being able to give her a defense boost, which, in my opinion, only works in Arena. Like, I don't think it's a great effect for when it comes to using her in Guild Quest, but like, the whole premise of the strong attack is just to use it when you're out of strong attacks, realistically speaking. But that being said, I like the character a lot. I only had her on 1.5, and she did spectacularly well. And I think she is deserving of the SS ranking alongside Lil Toto and Shinji. So I am going to put her right here. I think it works best. It's perfect. Like, I don't think I need to say anything else. I think that she is a great character to use overall when it comes to her performance in Guild Quest. So we're just gonna leave her here and move on to the next attribute. Up next, we have the Mind attribute, which we are about to get into, and it's gonna be none other than Mila Rose. This character is a piece of shit in Brave Battles. Let's just get that out of the way right now. What this character does is that she completely nullifies persistence. If you pair up Orihime against Mila Rose, and Mila Rose actually taps you down to 1 HP, guess what? You're not coming back. Same thing with Askin, same thing with Renji, same thing with Sajin, and same thing with Mininya. All of those persistence characters are getting completely screwed over by this character. And what makes it even worse is the fact that she also comes armed with Weaken Plus, so she can also stop you from being able to damage Mila Rose, and she'll just have the complete dominance in Brave Battles. The only thing is that she is not immune to any type of status element in particular, and she doesn't come with any type of boost or debuff as a whole when it comes to using her in Brave Battles. So you definitely want to have the likes of Askin and Renji on the battlefield just to be able to completely stay dominant in the likes of Lieutenant, Captain, and Head Captain. She'll do just that, realistically speaking. She has double killers of Soul Reaper and Quincy, which makes sense. Like, now it's Quincy's and Soul Reapers that just completely dominate the meta. The only difference is that it's Orihime who is the only human character in there in Brave Battles, but I don't think it really matters when Renji already puts down Orihime just fine. And yeah, she just comes armed with the same Brave Battle skills, and also has a really good damage output even outside of PvP. You can use her in Guild Quest, you can use her in PvE just fine. Just know that she is not immune to any type of status element in particular, so you will have to resort to some bonus abilities or even food items for her to be good in Guild Quest and not be screwed over by the status element puddles. So yeah, Flurry plus 3 with 50% Bruiser, and she does also have Long Reach with Water, which is Guard Break and Nullify Melee Resistance, and Sprinter plus 1. I don't think the kit really matters too much, but she has a Melee Collision Nat String, a Shotgun Blast, another Lunge, and then a 900 AoE in front. So yeah, the important thing is that she can proc Weaken Plus, even though she does not have the Disabler to do so, unlike Askin. But still, this character is the definition of toxicity in Brave Battles. And in my opinion, wait, did I not add the character? Holy. Alright, my bad, boys. We got the character in, let's add her in, and I think she is definitely deserving of being at the top of S. No discussion, no questions asked, and I think she fits right below White. And then the next character which we need to change the ranking is going to be this Cancer for Your Own World Hannibal, who too just got a resurrection, and this is what she's looking like. She picked up strong attack damage of 18%, which is pretty good with the attribute tree. You can easily get it to 20% and make it like as if it were a standard summonable soul trait, which is very good. And even then, outside of the Link aspect, she got the same kind of upgrades as Kisuke, but a little bit more damage this time around because she does have a bad SA1. Unlike Kisuke, who had the perfect kit, he picked up Havoc of 20%, full stam strong attack damage of 30%, and then she got a bit of a Berserker increase, and also picked up this skill right here, Team Party, a Ronker strong attack damage of 20%. So if you guys are missing characters such as Ilfort for being able to buff Dunsun, and you also are missing per se the other Heartstark, the NAD one, who buffed the current Segunda Etapa Ulquiorra into Guild Quest. This character is an option to use now because of this skill right here. But besides that, the character is a lot better. Nothing too crazy like Kisuke. So in terms of where I am going to change the placement for this character is that she's going to go from bottom B all the way up to the top of B. I don't think she's gonna get into A rank, realistically speaking, because if she had Purity, I think I probably would have put her in A tier. Bottom A, realistically speaking. But for now, I think she'll go around here. Probably above Grammy, probably below Zombie Toshiro. Yeah, let's just put her right here, honestly speaking. Yeah, she just got a bit of an upgrade, realistically speaking. Nothing really changed when it comes to the ranking of her character. Onto the power attribute. Now, the power attribute has received no new character this time around, but we did receive a resurrection, and that was the Can't Fear Your Own World Neliel right here. And funny enough, she got the best upgrades out of all of the Can't Fear Your Own World Round 5 characters. But her kit is by far the worst out of the 3 units, to the point that I don't think we really need to rank her too high outside of the whole link factor. But yeah, she picked up full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 20%, so you can definitely make great use of the link. Innate skills are Havoc of 20% and full stamina damage boost of 20%. And then with the 6er abilities, the Berserker remained the same, and she picked up Purity of 50%, and she also picked up Weakened Defense. So this character now does double the damage that she once used to do. That being said, realistically speaking, there wasn't really much that they could really do to salvage the character because she has a bad range collision SA1. It's the old 40% shave where you just push back enemies to Kingdom Come, and if you try to even use her in epic raids and you use her against a boss in co-op, she is going to be missing most of the time with the damage on the SA1. She has a 3k length beam as well on the SA2, so it's not great having a beam on the SA2 when it should be just the SA1, as it's a lot more consistent. And then you have an 1170 in front now, so yeah. When it comes to the ranking of this character, she'll go from bottom B to the top of B, because not much is really going to be changing this character overall. So I would probably put her right underneath 5th Anniversary Ichigo, as it's pretty much fitting at the end of the day. So we'll just leave her there, and that'll be it. Now, before I end the video, I think I'm just going to change some of the placements for the character in S and SS, realistically speaking. Now, Mugetsu, even though his performance, I'm gonna be real, it's not good in the current EX Nightmare Guild Quest. The reason why he is still so high is because of his damn link with how good he is. And even outside of Guild Quest, this guy is still really good to use in everywhere else. And Soifun, he is still good. Just, you know, the lack of guard break when it comes to the harder limit break quest is actually kind of noticeable, and the SA2 not being able to proc status elements is not the craziest, but she does perform excellently well in Guild Quest. But for now, I might bump Shinji back up into SS, because he might see a good resurgence in Guild Quest. Just depends on what we get whenever Melee No Affiliation does come back. If we get like a booster for this character or even a NAD character, he might actually make a good comeback, realistically speaking. And for the extra waves, he just might eventually end up being better than Oetsu. So for now, I may as well bump him back up into SS. He is still a great character, nonetheless. It's just that for now, he is lacking some of the supportive stuff that a lot of characters have advantage to, and him being a captain slash holo unit just really isn't it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for when it comes to ranking all of these characters right here. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. Some folks are not going to be too happy with some of my choicing. Some people will understand as to why I went for this. And there's just a lot to really talk about, realistically speaking. So yeah, with that being said, I thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, hit the bell notification and all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So have a wonderful day, lads. Peace out. Bye. Sayonara. Ciao, ciao.